something happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I got to beware.
All right, guys, welcome to the Crazy Pills podcast. And today I'm going to talk about kind of part two, what I talked about last time. So my exit strategy from crypto and then some other places to look for opportunities. This is actually take two. The first one I made was 42 minutes. It was actually pretty good. It just, what I noticed is I went into a lot of details, explaining in detail a lot more why I'm doing what I'm doing. And it just, I realized probably for most people that are watching, it's just too much, right? I would much rather actually condense it a little bit, give you like the general overview, maybe like a quick 30 seconds to a minute on why. And then if you are interested, you feel like it calls to you, definitely do your own research, because I'm not a financial advisor, obviously. I'm just a guy who studies this stuff on his own, get a lot of information and then read a lot, listen to other experts, and then formulate my own thoughts and opinions. All right, so don't take anything I'm saying as financial advice. Well, if you do, it's on you, right? This is just my opinions and then what I'm personally doing, okay? So before we could talk about anything else, and I've talked about this in the past, if you're wired to not be able to save up money, nothing you do is on the surface, changing the circumstance isn't going to actually make a lick of difference. Okay, we've all probably heard of the study before where there's homeless people, right? A lot of homeless people win the lottery, and they actually did like a study on it. Within 5 years, it was some crazy number, like 90% of the homeless people that won the lottery had to file for bankruptcy or were broke again. Okay, and like the average amount they won, it's like they had to spend like $6,000 a day or some crazy number like that to actually have to go broke. Okay, so in the studies, a lot of them talk about, oh, they don't know proper risk management, they don't have good boundaries, they just give money to friends, like they're not financially educated. Yes, I get all that. And what none of those studies talk about is fundamentally that person subconsciously, energetically, is not actually wired to be wealthy, okay? If you suspect that that's money, retaining money is an area for you where there's some kind of blockage where it just doesn't flow easily, that should be where you put your attention on first, okay? Not to necessarily fix it, but just to actually experience it for what it is. So I'll link the video about a few months ago when I did a seminar. That was actually the first part. And it talks about, okay, how do you actually start experiencing or seeing that blind spot, okay? It doesn't mean you figure it out right away. Sometimes it might take some time, right? But now, at least you're connected to what's causing you to have the results that you're having, as opposed to chasing the results and then not the cause, okay? And funny enough, everything in life works this way, okay? So here's some signs to know that if you're not wired, that's probably not a good way to put it. If subconsciously or energetically, you have a blockage in that area, okay? If there is some negative association with having wealth, whether it's for people that are greedy, it's people that are, it only goes to lucky people, only goes to people that are willing to take advantage of other people, some kind of narrative that's there. There's something that's actually fueling that. And then also, here's the other one, it's a little bit more subtle, but if you're actually looking to get money to move away from something, okay, so for example, a common one is, I don't feel confident, I don't feel like I'm enough, and then if I have a lot of money, then all of a sudden I'll actually feel better about myself. So in that case, money is your focus to solve some kind of problem you have. So you're actually trying to move away from something. If that's the case, you're just not gonna be able to make a lot of money, okay? And that's not saying that that's bad, it's just there's something actually driving that mechanism, right? And I own a gym. Obviously I'm into fitness, health, what we put in your body. I could extrapolate that out to diet and exercise. And there's a lot of people, and I'll just, in this case, I'll talk about women, that I notice that it's like there's an obsession with either the weight on the scale or the body fat of like, okay, do I eat less? Do I do this and this? And it's just, there's something going on. And then in their mind, they think if I get to a certain body weight or body fat percentage, then I'll actually feel better, right? And sometimes it could be tied to shame. Sometimes it could be tied to guilt. Sometimes it could be tied to worthlessness, helplessness, right? This is a real talk. Most people don't even have this awareness. And then once you have this awareness, there's a hunger to actually choose something else. And rather than having to figure it out on your own, you're actually open to life giving you experiences to help you discover what actually works for you. Okay, one of my favorite quotes is from one of my favorite authors and spiritual teacher. His name is Eker, and his quote is that suffering is necessary until it is unnecessary. So sometimes for people, as soon as they experience it, it shifts and it's different. For some other people, they might actually still struggle with it, get in their own way for a bit, and that's just the journey or the process that they have to go to. And the first step is to actually see it. So personally, I run a awareness/energy group meeting every Wednesday afternoon at 5:30, right? And really that's my goal for people, is for them to actually have the ability to start noticing on a more subconscious level or in the background what's going on that's leading to the results you have. If your focus is on changing the circumstance, you're gonna have a hard time actually changing the underlying story, okay? And I can tell you right now, whether it's being tall, like I'm 6'2", getting down to a certain body fat percentage, lowest I've been recently, it was like under 5%, getting to a certain fitness level, getting a certain amount of validation, whether it's attention from women, praise from friends, being acknowledged for something. I've been lucky in my life. I accomplished a lot of those to a certain degree. It doesn't actually get you what you think it's going to, okay? If you're trying to get something so you could feel a lack, and you have to really have a degree of self-awareness and be honest with yourself, but if you're trying to fill a lack, even if you get it, which it's unlikely if you do, but even if you get it, you're gonna notice that it didn't work, okay? And at the same time, I'm encouraging you to actually try and get it, right? Because it's one thing to hear someone else tell you it doesn't work, but if you actually get it, and then you have that empty experience, like, wow, it didn't work, it's okay. Like it'll like it'll actually be okay. There's nothing wrong with you. That's just kind of how this stuff works, okay? So that's the end of my spiel on that. I should link the seminar video where I talked about this a little bit more in depth before. But if you're in the area of finance, a great book to help you get started looking into this area is called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by Harv Eker. Okay, and I'll also link that in the description. Okay, so the second point I want to talk about before we even talk about my exit strategy is wealth. Okay, so everybody has a different personality, how they consider what they consider wealth, and what they actually enjoy doing with the money. Okay, for me, I think the first threshold that I would consider, what's the threshold that I would actually consider if someone is wealthy or not, is that if their passive income can actually support their lifestyle. Okay, so where basically what I'm saying is you have enough money, and that money is generating money where you can not work for the rest of your life and not feel like your lifestyle is suffering, and you can actually live. So that now you don't need to work for money. You can actually choose what type of work you do, okay? That's my threshold for crossing over, for defining whether someone has crossed over into that wealthy category. And then from there, there's obviously different levels and stuff, but that's the first level to get to. So for me, my exit strategy, if I'm not there, is to actually get there first. And then from there, right, my strategy will probably change a little bit. Now, I'm gonna start with crypto. Actually, I'm gonna start with crypto. I'll actually, see, how do I wanna go about this? Okay, so let me just give you guys what I'm going to do up front, okay, without a lot of context, and I'll explain it a little bit. So for me, when I think this current crypto bubble is over, where the risk starts getting higher and higher and higher, and it's not worth it to keep that much in there anymore, I'm going to actually branch out into physical silver. So you have to actually own it, or it doesn't count. Some cash, and then I'm going to keep some in crypto, okay? And then I'm going to give a quick, brief summary of each. Silver, I've made 2 videos talking about it. I'll link them in here. But silver, because I feel like outside of crypto right now, it is probably the most undervalued asset in the world that you can actually still obtain. Okay, you can buy it online. You can buy it from a local precious metals dealer. Right now, it's trading between $25 and $26 an ounce. I think if it's properly valued for what it should be over $600 an ounce. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Depending on where I'm at, the money I take out, the unrealized amount of money I have in crypto right now, so let's just say it's $100,000, or I would take out 15%, so $15,000, and actually buy physical silver with it. If I had $1 million, I would actually buy $150,000 worth of silver. Okay, just to give you an idea of the ballpark or percentage. Okay, the second one is I'm gonna wanna actually have cash. Okay, not actually physical money. It could be in a bank account, but just fiat US dollar. So fiat just means it's unbacked by anything. So that's basically all the currencies around the world. And it's not because so much I value the US dollar or fiat currency, is that it allows me to actually just, pay for stuff that I need to on a day-to-day basis. And then also having that money allows you to then move into other stuff that comes up that I feel like is undervalued. Okay, so again, if I have $10,000, right, I would take out 30% of it. So I'll take out 30 grand and just have it as cash. If I had $1 million, I probably wouldn't take out 300 grand, right? I would actually take out a little less, maybe like about 200, just have that ready. Personally, I don't live like a lavish lifestyle. It's not the thing that really appeals to me. If anything, I spend most of my money on self-development courses, just stuff that I feel like can really benefit me and then my ability to impact the world. Okay, so I actually don't need that much money to live. So having, say, like 200 grand, right? I can actually survive for like a few years. Not survive, but I could actually not have to bring in any income and use that money for a few years if I have to. Okay, and it's just a personal preference. I don't really have a desire to go buy a very fancy car to show off my status or reputation, anything like that. It just doesn't really appeal to me. Okay, so that's why I would have the cash. Okay, now I'm very, very bearish on cash overall. We're moving to a digital dollar, right? So it's, even though it's still called a dollar and a lot of it will look similar, on the back end of it, it'll be very different. And I think the catalyst, just the virtual, is our current system of money is on the verge of falling apart. And that's not just the US dollar, I think that's around the world, the current fiat system. And then we're moving to digital dollars, or digital, and it's specifically, it's called central bank digital currency, or CBDC. And the difference between that and crypto is when it's a CBDC, it's centralized. So they could create as much of it as they want. But when they move to that, it's like an economist's wet dream, right? They can actually enforce negative interest rates or even expiration dates on your money. So if it's like a negative 1% interest rate, right? If you have $100,000 in your bank, without touching it, without doing anything, next year you only have $99,000, right? Or they could put an expiration date. China rolled out their digital RMB this past year, and a couple hundred million people are actually using it. And they actually will give out money, but then put an expiration date on it, where like, hey, you have to spend it by this time, or else it's going to go to zero, right? And that's pretty much the next step of stimulus, because that's the whole point of stimulus isn't for you to go save and buy stock with it. It's actually for you to spend it in an economy, but people aren't doing that right now, right? So if that actually sounds like a good idea for you, I would highly recommend you go study the economy, because that's pretty much the opposite of what the economy is, and that's just the next level of control. And it's bad news. Okay, so that's actually coming, and then at the same time, decentralized money or finance, crypto, and then what you could do with it is also rapidly accelerating and taking hold. So it's really interesting to see in the future this CBDC that's coming online, and then what's happening to crypto, and it's going to collide, and I don't know what's going to happen. I'm very hopeful, but like it's going to be a lot of turmoil. Okay, and I think when we really switch over to that digital, the CBDCs, where the government tries to do it, is when our current monetary system collapses. There's some clear signs of cracks that are there. I can't tell the exact time, but I think one catalyst could potentially be when the crypto bubble, the stock bubble, and the real estate bubble all pop at the same time. Or it could just be a wave of bankruptcies, because a company can't sustain itself just getting free money all the time, right? Like they have to actually produce value and earn. And at a certain point, when they're getting free money and they still can't pay off the debt and do everything, or if people just lose confidence in the current money, right, something dramatic will have to shift. So there's a lot of turmoil up ahead, and then that's why I'm not necessarily high on cash or just having money in the bank, but that's how we pay for money right now. And also it allows you to rapidly move money into another asset class that you feel like is undervalued and there's an opportunity. Okay, now crypto itself, it's still in its infancy stage. Okay, so the dot-com bubble, I think it popped around March of 2020. So you imagine if it's late 1999, okay, it's going to go up a lot more right before it pops. How would you play it, right? So there's a short term, which is just, okay, when do you think the local top of crypto is? And this one I'm going to get you a little bit more technical. If you're not familiar with crypto, I'll probably be talking over your heads. If you are, this will make a lot more sense, okay? So there's a local top, right? So far for the crypto bull market, bear market, the bull run starts about every 4 years, okay? So in my last video, I already talked about it. We're, I think, heading into the final phase of the current crypto bull run. And in the very end, things go up really fast, and then boom, it pops. And then for the next few years, it's gonna actually trend down from the high last time. There's cryptos that lost 95% of its value over like 3 years, okay? So it'd be really bad. Now, up to this point, crypto has been speculative, right? It's like projects, but they're not actually really being used. Even the ones that are being used in the real world, it's not mass adoption, okay? There's a lot of framework in place now where crypto could be mass adopted by the time the next bull run comes around. So it might not be 4 years, but up to this point, it's just been like speculative projects, okay? There's currently 9,000 something cryptos. In my opinion, just out of all the projects that I know of, I could probably stretch it and get up to 30 projects that I think has a chance to survive. But even if it's 30 out of 9,000, right, you're talking about what is that, like a third of a percent, right? It's extremely low, okay? So when you have a crypto exit strategy, you have to have a short-term strategy. How are you gonna deal with this local bull market where you think the top is in? And then how are you gonna deal with it long-term, okay? So if you were in stocks or into internet companies in late 1999, and you knew that the bubble was about to pop, but there's also stocks out there for companies like Netflix. Don't quote me on that. Some of those companies might not be public, okay? But like, let's just say Netflix was out there, Amazon was out there, Google was out there, PayPal was out there, right? Like, how would you actually play it, right? Because when it pops, everything's gonna drop down together. But it doesn't mean that those companies or those projects don't have real value, that they're actually gonna start being used in real life and really take off in the future. Okay, so for me, that balance is about 50-50. I'm willing to take out 50% of the profits and move it into other stuff. And then I wanna leave in about 50% or more that I'm okay with it, the value of it dropping a lot short term, because I'm investing in just acquiring more of those cryptos, because I think long term is going to do a lot better. Now, one of the questions someone watching could have is, okay, if you think there's going to be a bubble, it's going to pop, why don't you just sell it all into cash and then buy in when it's lower? If anyone's actually been in crypto, it's just incredibly hard to time. And sometimes you think, hey, you know what, I think that's it. What if it goes a lot higher? And then now I'm just sold out completely watching it go up, right? Like, But if I have, say, 50% in, 50% out, I'm okay with that 50% losing a lot of its value. And if it still goes up, I could take some more profit and leave some in, right? So like for me, that 50-50 is a good number. For some people, they rather take 65% profit, leave 35% in. But could you imagine, okay, let's just say you took 95% out and you misread the top. Then it goes up another 3 or 4x. So you only have 5% of your original portfolio in there, and you're watching that 5% go 3 or 4x. How would that actually feel to you, right? Everyone's number is a little bit different. Mine's about 50-50, okay? The 4 projects that I'm really high on, like I said, I think there's like 30 that are gonna survive. I can make a case for all of them. It's just I decided to put all of my crypto into these 4. So the first one is FLR, and it's specifically, it's called a Spark token, but it's actually for Flare, okay? So Flare Network is decentralized finance. I think it's by far the best technologically, and they've just been very strategic and smart in the way they're going about setting everything up. So that launches in June, and I think Flare will have a very, very good shot of just completely taking out Ethereum and a lot of these other projects out there, because it just does it better, and they're just smarter with the way they're gonna on-ramp everything. Okay, so Flare, FLR, XRP, THETA, THETA, and then VET, VET. Okay, so those are the projects that I'm going to hold, and then in that order, I think those are that's the order as far as the weight I'm going to place in that. So I'm going to own more Flare value-wise than VET, even though I love VET, right? It's just how I'm going to diversify that. Okay, so I started talking about some of these projects in the last video. I'm not going to do that. If you're interested, research it, just to understand why. And like I think those projects, what they have in common is they're solving a real world problem. They already all have real world partnerships with large companies, already being used a little bit to a decent amount, right? So and for the problem they're trying to solve, I think all 4 of those probably have the best technology in that field, and it also has the best chance to survive. Okay, so that's kind of my exit strategy. I left out a lot, and also I do a bad job of doing this. Okay, so if you made it to the end, you want to support the video, or please, if you're watching on YouTube, please like it or comment. Apparently that's actually good for the algorithm or something. But if you're listening to it on podcast or Spotify, I do link in a lot of the videos, and I'll put in the description too, videos that support a lot of the stuff I'm talking about, so you can check it out. But that's just my personal exit strategy. As far as when I'm going to exit, the strategy I follow is largely based on the work of a guy. His YouTube handle is called Blockchainbacker. Blockchainbacker on YouTube, and he's just probably the best that I've seen as far as doing technical analysis and then reading trends. And for me, I'm going to start exiting out of crypto, when Bitcoin gets between 67 and 83,000. So the next time, so Bitcoin actually hit 65,000 a few weeks ago, right? So we're getting close. The next time it goes up and it reaches somewhere, as soon as it gets above 67,000, I'm going to be very, very careful. And then if Bitcoin is dropping, so it hits, say, 68,000, then it starts correcting, so it starts going down, and then the non-Bitcoin cryptocurrencies are going up when Bitcoin's going down, so that's called capitulating, right? They're not moving in tandem anymore. And then once Bitcoin's done correcting, it starts retracing, so it's going back up to retrace what it's lost. And when you're retracing, the altcoins start going parabolic, or start going crazy, where you see like a couple 100% in a day, or just massive movement. That's the clear sign that that's the final phase and the bubble's in. And that's where I'll be actually moving out of most of it. Until that happens, I think there's still some upside. My personal estimation, I already talked about it in the last video, which I made 2 weeks ago, right? This one, it could be a month and a half, maybe 6 months. My feeling is it's going to be closer to the month and a half, 2 month period. And at this point, I have people every day messaging me, asking me about crypto, or just shooting the shit about it. And also, because I'm a nerd, I study all this stuff, so I can kind of see the type of people getting into it, right? When like the mom is getting into crypto where she had no idea what it was before, that's also a sign that the end is coming. Okay, so If you are thinking about it, I think there's still some time left, but just know, I think for me, once Bitcoin gets above 67,000, I think it dropped down to 57. It's right around 57 right now. Once it gets above 67,000, that risk of losing a lot of money starts going up dramatically. Okay, whereas if you get in now, there's still going to be like a big run up before it's going to go down. Okay, so it's all risk reward, right? And just something for you to weigh on your own. But Blockchainbacker, if you look him up on YouTube, he does a phenomenal job explaining his exit strategy, why, and it has like historical precedents to back it up. And there's a lot of people that think crypto is going to go to like 200,000, 300,000, $1 million, you know, stock to flow model, all that stuff. Like I get it, but like just being around this crypto space for over a year now, actually about a year, and kind of getting a feel, seeing what it's like, you know, being able to study what happened in the past and everything, I just don't see it. Okay, maybe it'll go to 200-300 grand. Then my exit strategy will be very, very off, which is why I'm not going to get out completely. I'll get out 50%, and I'm willing to have the value drop, that the ones that leave and drop, or actually, even if it goes up a lot, you know, I took profit, and I could still actually benefit from that 50%. All right. If you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I know the last two I talked specific about finance. If you're here for the the social commentary, I'll probably get back to that soon. You know, obviously, if you follow me personally on like Instagram, you see I have lots of opinions on that. Okay, but thanks for watching or listening. If you are listening, probably easier to watch because I'm going to link a lot of videos in there and pictures and stuff to back up what I'm talking about. But I will talk to you guys next time. And remember, I'm just some asshole that owns a gym. Don't take what I say and just follow it blindly. You know, use it to actually spark some curiosity, do some research, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys next time.
You're my life, you're my breath, you're a smile, you're my guest. You're the earth, you're the sun, you're the grass, you are love. You're my hands, you're a bug, you're my eyes, you're a hug. You're the light in the dark, you're the spark, you are fun. You're my mom, you are water, you're the stars, you're my daughter. You're my friend till the end, you're my dreams, you're my father. You're the ants on the ground, the miracles that surround. I'm feeling it all around, the hemisphere in the clouds. You're my pain, you're my sorrow, you're my hope for tomorrow. You're the strength when I'm hollow, you're the path that I follow. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss. The gift to realize that everything
all that
is a gift.
I am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all. Grateful for it all.
You're the blessings every time I try to count. You're the lessons that I learned every time I turn around. You're the water when I'm burned every time I think I found everything I'm looking for. You're the sign saying stop to take a bow and keep moving forward and start looking towards your heart. It'll open all the doors and only then you'll start to hear the world singing chorus with your mind and heart. Aligned in purpose, everything
All
will feel
that I
gorgeous.
am, all that I see, all that I've been, and all that I'll ever be is a blessing. It's so amazing, and I'm grateful for it all, for it all.
Every day I sit and pray cause what I have is more than I deserve or could ever imagine. How do I give back to all of this magic and spread the love so everybody can have it? Doesn't matter if I'm rich or poor, if I got a family or if I'm all alone. Bad things happen, I can just complain and moan, but there's a million things that I can be grateful for.
So I lift up my hands now, and I open my heart, and my gratitude goes out to everything near and far. All that I am,
Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel everything I dream, everything I feel, and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I look deep down and feel all the blessings. Everything I am and everything I see, everything I hope and everything I dream, everything I feel and everything I be. I'm grateful for it all. It's amazing. You're the blessings that exist, the small things that are bliss, the gift to realize that everything is a gift.